when is a time, you've had all these successes, I'm sure anyone looking at Rachel Hofstetter would be like, Rachel is just like nailing it. She's nailing life. Anything she approaches, she seems to succeed at. But tell us about a failure you've experienced.
Yeah.
Maybe if that was pivotal for you.
Well, I'll tell 2 stories on this, because the way you just asked the question made me think that people do oftentimes say, wow, everything's turned out golden for you. And what they don't see, and what I really think about, is how many things I have tried, right? Like today we just talked about a couple things. We talked about Oprah Magazine and the book and Guesterly, and all things that ended successfully or were successful. But in between there, when I think back to, throughout my 20s, how many things I applied for and tried. I applied to be, a chef on a cooking show. I applied to win this fellowship to study cooking in France for a year. I was trying to be a running ambassador for this special, this big brand, and be their face of their running brand. There were a lot of things that I tried, and I never talk about them because they didn't work out. But I think part of it is you put so much out there, certain things will come back to you, right? I wrote a book proposal in a weekend, and I put it out there into the universe and ended up selling to Penguin Random House and becoming a thing. But that was actually just one of 5 or 6 things I tried that spring. I tried other things on other weekends. So I guess my first thought about failure is they're not so much failures, they're just putting things out there, and some of them come back loaded with gold, and some of them you never hear from again. Mm-hmm. And you have to get really comfortable with just upping your odds by putting more out there.
Love it. So I was speaking at an event with students from UVU, Utah Valley University, and one of their questions was, well, what if I fail? And I can't remember the full question, but it was like, I'm really scared right now.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have the experience to line up a success. And my thought was, I don't know if anyone's going to remember.
I think nobody remembers unless you say it. And it's also how you creatively problem solve around it, right? There will be failures that show up in your work life, for example. I'll tell you 2 stories, both with emails in my very first month at Chatbooks. But, day 1, I sent out an email, and one of the words in the email was like, hey, Mom, you deserve this. Well, turns out not all of our customers were moms. And so they wrote in, and they were not happy about it. But I say that because, and I tell this story to new people all the time at Chatbooks, because you know what? We shipped that email out the door day 1, and it was not perfect. But it was also better than waiting for 2 weeks to kind of figure it out and edit it and get the exact perfect email. And now, of course, we have a much larger customer base. We do test things very carefully. It was a rookie mistake, but also we're all going to make a rookie mistake at some point. But shortly thereafter, we sent out an email, and we had pulled in customers' names from our database. So it was supposed to say hey, Rachel, check out this cool new thing. Except somehow, fog of war, somehow the database list got scrambled. And so instead of saying, hey, Rachel, it said, hey, Bob, check this thing out. And all of us, it goes out, tons of people. We start getting tons of responses hey, my name's not Bob, my name's not George. People were literally writing in nonstop. And so we had this moment, and I remember sitting there with our team saying, wow, what do we do? And I think it was Dan, our COO, who was like, well, maybe it's just change your name day. And it was so silly, but we put it on social. We said, guys, ha ha ha, it's change your name day. Did you know? By the way, check your email, see what your new name is. And everybody commented, thousands and thousands of comments ha, my name's Violet. Ha, my name's Jenny. And it was so fun. And when people wrote in, we were like, yep, ha, it's change your name day. Now, obviously, this was a mistake. We did not plan it. But we were able to be creative and problem solve. And of course, now we have processes where it's all tested much better. It would never happen again. We learned from it. But we still tell the story all the time to our team because it's to encourage other people that, you know what? Something goes wrong, you don't get fired. We don't hate you forever and ever. It's not like that. It's hey, we learn from it. We have fun with it if we can, and we keep moving on. And everybody can make mistakes, right? Those 2 mistakes I just told you were mine. And so I own them. And that means hey, something else goes wrong. Well, all of us do it.
Right. And I would say that a lot of my process, might be true for you, comes from the mistakes.
Yeah.
From the little mistakes.
Totally.
Oh, we should probably refine this a little bit more. And then it gets tighter, and it's hard to see when you have just success after success.
Yes.
To see what what could we do better on?
Yeah, no, exactly. You don't learn if you don't make mistakes. Because you know what? Otherwise you're going to make that mistake eventually. And so you have to put it out there to make it.
I love that. That is a great way to just maybe have fun
Yeah.
with